Hello, and welcome to our trading webinar. And we're excited to have you here, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us. We're happy to have Sean Heron, President of Regal Securities, present this webinar today on using OptionsPlay, which is our online trading strategy tool, free for all customers. My name is Gina Bocayas, and welcome. And to provide some basic logistical information about this webinar today, the session will last approximately 1 hour. If you have any questions during the webinar presentation, please feel free to type them into the question box on the bottom of your screen, and our speaker will answer those at the end of his presentation. We ask that you use the Q&A box and not the chat box, as if you put it in the chat box, our speaker may not see it. Also, you can reach out to our trade desk at any time after the presentation if you have additional questions after the webinar. You can also access a recording of the webinar in the next week on our website. And as a courtesy, we will also be emailing all of our attendees a copy of the recording so you can review it at your leisure. And for those of you just joining, we'd like to welcome you to our webinar on using OptionsPlay, which is our online strategy trading tool to help spotlight option trading opportunities for you. And it's for traders of all levels, whether you're a beginner option trader or if you're more experienced and advanced. We find all traders of all levels enjoy using OptionsPlay and get a benefit out of it. And we're excited to tell you that this tool is free for all of our customers. It's normally $500 annually. And at our firm, we hope that you'll also take advantage of our extremely low commission rates. All of our stock and ETF trades are just 0 commissions. And our option trades are some of the lowest in the industry, just 10 cents per contract, plus $1.99 per trade, much lower than a lot of other firms out there that charge 65 cents per contract. We also support trading and education, and we're glad you can join our webinar today to learn more about using options to trade in this volatile environment that we have. I'd like to turn our attention to our speaker now, Sean Heron. Sean is currently president of Regal Securities. He's an experienced options and equity trader with over 20 years of industry experience. He's been using the OptionsPlay tool for several years and will provide an expert's view as he walks traders of all levels on how to use its features to find trading opportunities using options. After receiving a bachelor's degree from Illinois State University in 1992, Sean began his career in the financial services industry as a limited partnership trader with Chicago Partnership Board. Sean joined Regal Securities in April of '98, and over the years has worked in nearly every department at the firm. So without further ado, we'll turn it over to Sean Heron, and he will begin his webinar. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Gina. Appreciate the introduction. And as Gina said, we're going to be getting into OptionsPlay today, hoping to show you some new ways to use the product and get a handle on, different ways to generate trade ideas in this volatile market. So just some housekeeping items here on the front side. So I did want to go over our disclaimer. Disclosure, we need to review this. Options may carry a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Certain requirements must be met to trade options through any division of Regal Securities. Please read the options disclosure document titled Characteristics and Risks of Standardized Options before considering any option transaction. A copy may be requested by email at support@regalsecurities.com or by mail to Regal Securities, 950 Milwaukee Avenue, Suite 102, Glenview, Illinois, 60025. A complete copy and its supplements can be found online at the OCC at the address posted there. And again, this webinar is for educational purposes only and should not be considered securities recommendations or trading advice by Regal Securities. Okay, very good. Thank you. So yeah, let's get into this here. What I've brought up here is probably familiar to most of you. This is our desktop trading platform. This is my personal layout. You know, I use this every day, like our customers, and I can kind of show you a little bit about this, features beyond OptionsPlay after we go through the product itself. So let's go ahead and get into it. So finding OptionsPlay, you should have, you know, as Gina said, this is a free software product to all of our customers. It's built into our online desktop trading platform. And you should have a tab at the top titled OptionsPlay, but if you don't show it there, you can always go to the Add a Tab and then click on the tab. It should bring up a blank one, and then add a widget. And then OptionsPlay will be one of the choices of the widgets, and it'll populate in that screen. Going back to OptionsPlay. So OptionsPlay is a great tool to help you visualize options and strategies associated with options. Certainly you need to be approved to trade options, and there's different levels of approval. Those different levels will also enable you to do different strategy levels, and we'll go over some of those different strategy levels here today. But OptionsPlay is a great tool to really, you know, break down the trade and what you're looking to accomplish, what your potential profit and loss can be, and it enables you to simulate that before actually placing a trade. So we'll review all that here today. You know, options can be overwhelming, as we all know. You can go to the option chains, and you have just massive quantity of data there. It's, you know, if you look at a SPY chain, it's just a ton of strikes and expirations, and it can be difficult to sift through that and determine how you'd like to employ your strategy. So OptionsPlay kind of cuts through that and helps you, again, visualize the trade. So what we'll do here is we'll go through this kind of in 3 different steps. There are 3 panels here on the OptionsPlay screen. The first one, really how they describe it is the, you know, the what, why, and how. So the left is going to be what, the middle is going to be why, and the right is going to be how. And we'll go through that together here. So the first, the left-hand side is where you would generate ideas. So there's a couple different ways you can go about this. And so you can go with the trade ideas, which you see here at the top. And what this is a daily curated list by OptionsPlay, by their proprietary scans, where they determine, based on typically technical data, which stocks will fall into a bullish or bearish pattern worth noting. So you can go with their suggestions, and these lists will vary in size depending on which stocks hit their metrics. And so today you can see on the bullish side, we're seeing about 6 different stocks. And on the bearish side, they've come up with 3. You can also break these down further by small cap, medium, large, mega, and then there's a drop down for sectors. It's only showing you the sectors where the scans generated an alert today. So typically you'll see a lot more sectors depending on what comes up that particular day. And also what scans generated those particular names. And so today's names were generated by, you know, rally in a bearish trend stock, an overbought bearish crossover, and the Williams overbought bearish crossover. So in addition to this, those are some trade ideas that you can have generated, but we also have Watchlist. So we all have our watch list, the stocks we like to watch. You know, I have mine right here. I keep on my main screen. And So what they have here is sectors showing right now. There's 11 sectors that you can scan as well. Or you can hit this drop-down menu and go to My Watch List, and you can look to add a new watch list. So let's say I'll add a new watch list. I'll call this Tech, and I will add some stocks. We'll go with Apple, go with Google, Facebook, Tesla. You can create your own. You can create multiple watch lists. It's strictly up to you. Grab a couple extras in here. Notable names that you're used to. So you've got your names here, and so you're going to generate your ideas from this particular column, and you'll see also that it's giving you the name of the stock, it's giving you the price, the change on the day, and then score. So the score is going to be what they call the technical score, and it's 1 through 10. And what this scores is the stock's relative strength to the overall market. Is it strong with the market, or is it lagging behind? And so what you'll see here is, Tesla's got a pretty high score. They got a 10. Alibaba's been coming down. It's got a 3 right now. And then just to the right of that, you'll see the arrow of the trend over the past 1 month. So this is pretty much where you're generating your what. And then when you click on a particular name on the left side, it's going to populate that on the middle and the right-hand panels. So what we have here is I clicked on Tesla, and we'll go through the middle panel now, which is the why of what we're doing here. So there's a lot of data here. We can go through this. So Tesla, it's up big today. They got added to the S&P 500 last night. As a result, there's a lot of ETFs and funds and different people who have to buy the stock to be able to mimic the S&P 500. It's a typical move when that news is announced, and I know if you follow the stock, been anticipating this since July. So what we see here on Tesla, it's 445. You can see the data streaming. It's up 9% today. The 1-month trend is bullish. The 6-month trend is bullish. The stock has just gone parabolic here in the past, 7 months or so. It'll give you the range, dividend if it's paying a dividend, its volume on the day, the PE, the beta. And then down below in the middle part of the section is the chart, which is an interactive chart that you can use. What you'll see here is, OptionsPlay also likes to show things not just in a visual way, but also a verbal way. So down below, it gives you some important information. The earnings date is expected on Jan 27th, 71 days, PM, meaning after the close. Dividends not paying. The price action puts it into regular words. It's crossed above its 50-day. Moving average at 420, and the trends have turned bullish today. Going up to the chart, you can do a number of different things here. You can change the type of chart, candle bar, line chart. You can, we'll stick with candle. You can change the month range. You can hit this to size in and out, and you can also expand it. So we've expanded it here. You can drag the chart. So as you can see, Tesla today is coming up to the top of this range. That's why these lines are here. You've hit kind of a resistance level there. And then it's only traded above this level for just a couple of days ever. And then down below, you've got a resistance on the low side. And you can see the color coded in terms of what the price action has been doing over that period of the chart. So, you know, October into November, it's been kind of red, and you can see that reflected in the chart. You can also add different studies onto this particular chart. You can add a moving average, Bollinger Bands, the MACD, you know, a lot of different, you can change the parameters on that as well. So there's a lot of interactive items and things. And then by kind of zooming it out and resizing it, you can kind of, you know, where you think the stock might go in the future, which is about options. You're making a determination where you think the stock may go in a defined period of time prior to the expiration of the option. So if you see a breakout continuing here, you can see the upper range is probably 504, where it'll find some resistance, and then on the downside, it should find some support around 336. So, and then just click this arrow to resize it. And so you've got your what and your why, and that takes us to probably the most important screen on here, which is the how. And so with each stock, you can determine, okay, well, the 1 month trend is bullish, the 6 month trend is bullish. You can say, well, you know, contrarian, I'm bearish, or I'm bullish. In this case, for illustrative purposes, I'll stick with the bullish thinking on Tesla. And just going back to the chart again, you can see down here where it defines where it feels the support and resistance lies on a technical basis. So you can use that input when determining option strategies, if you like. So we're moving on to the third panel, and there's two ways you can use this. People can use options to trade different strategies, or you can use options to generate income. We'll go into the trading strategies side of it first. And so what they like to do here with OptionsPlay, again, very visual. We want to show you as well as explain to you what it is different strategies will achieve or not achieve, what your risk reward is. So there's three ways, most popular ways to play a bullish stance on a particular stock. First panel is going to say, okay, I can buy 100 shares of Tesla. That's going to cost me $44,480. That's a lot of money for 100 shares. Certainly, it's an expensive stock. Another way to play the stock, if you're bullish, is buy one January monthly 2021 call for $440. As you can see, the stock is at $446.81. It's $680 in the money. That long option is going to cost you $51, $52 to purchase it. And then the third panel is going to say, okay, the next strategy that's most popular is what we would call a vertical call spread, or a debit spread. It's also called, meaning you're paying money as opposed to receiving money, as in a credit spread. So in this particular scenario, it is saying a way that you can play a bullish stance on Tesla is to buy the $440 call and sell the $560 call. Tesla, it moves a lot. There's big premium in these options. So you're creating a spread with $120 difference. And that's going to cost you only $3,345. A lot less than just going long one call. And also less risk, which we'll go into here. So what you're doing here, you're also seeing a score associated with each of those strategies. And what that score means, or what it's telling you, is it's a risk-reward score. So the risk-reward with just going long a call is going to be, okay, you're risking a little over $5,000. Your reward technically is infinite, but how high Tesla will go is certainly somewhat limited by supply and demand. But on the spread one, you're risking $3,345 to potentially receive $12,000 should the stock stay above $560 upon January 15th. So digging into these a little bit more, I can click on this screen, and it's going to put it more into terms like numbers. So the first one, there's my cost. My maximum reward is unlimited. The stock could go to the moon, who knows. My maximum risk is $44,000, a lot. POP is probability of profit. So in this scenario, it's saying a 43.3% chance of profit. Your break even is where you buy it. No expiration. Buying the call, it's going to cost you $5,185. Max reward is unknown. It's not limited. You're risking $5,185. Your probability of profit is 29-30%. And your break even, stock needs to be above 491 on the third Friday of January. And it gives you the days till expiration, 59 days away. So on the third one, the spread where I'm buying the 440 and selling the 560, my cost is $3,345. My max reward is $86.55, essentially $12,000 minus $3,345. My probability of profit is almost 35%, and my break even is at 473. So to break even, I need it to be at 473 or above upon expiration of 59 days. So looking at that, we come down to our P&L simulator, and this is really a great piece to OptionsPlay. What you can do here is this is all interactive. So I can come down here and simulate different things. So I can say, okay, well, I don't think the stock is going to go to 560. I think maybe it's going to go, to 530, and you can change these right there. And so what it's doing is it's saying, okay, if by Jan 15th the stock is at 530, buying the 100 shares is going to return me 19%. Buying the long call, it's going to return me 73%, and the spread position is going to return me 169% on my money. So the reason why the spread gets the highest score is because you're risking the least, 3,300, but your potential reward is 169% should it stay at 530 upon expiration. So in addition to that, you can change expiration, or you change the dates when you think. Here's a calendar, it pops up, change the date. So you can play around with this, and there's a lot of different scenarios that you can plug in here. You can analyze the chart, you can take into account there's earnings on this particular date, or this particular news event is going to happen on this date. So you can change those variables and really tailor it to what your expectations are. So there's a number of panels here on the bottom. What I did want to show, we'll go back. Actually, if you click on this, going back again, if you click on the chart of the scenario, it's going to bring up just a larger analysis of that particular scenario. And then you can also change those parameters of date and price, and it's going to tell you what your expected return is, what your expected profit or loss. You can say, hey, what happens if, going back to here, so let's say, something happens, bad news on Tesla, and it goes down to, it closes, today's at 446, it closes at 420 on that date. So expected profits would be, you would lose your investment and lose 100%. Granted, you're buying the, the 440. So you're risking, in this scenario, closes at 420, you lose 100%, you lose 33.45, you lose less amount there than if you were just long the call, which you paid 51.85 for. So the interactive feature here is really something great to explore and plug in different things, because when you're looking at an option chain, you don't really get that feedback. You get, you're just looking at a lot of data. You got to plug in different things and different strikes and different months, and it can be kind of overwhelming. But this really cuts to the chase, and it shows you what it is you're looking to do there. So say that you don't want to compare going along with a long call to a vertical call spread. You can also set up, say you like to do vertical call spreads, and you want to set up 3 different ones. So what you would do is in this panel here where it says modify, you click modify, and it brings you to this screen where you have all these different strategies that you can plug in. So I want to compare, for this particular scenario, let's see, so I've got a January 440 to 560 vertical call spread. Say, what strategy do we want to go? Actually, no, neutral. You have, all sorts of different strategies. You have the iron condors, the butterflies, just the straight spreads. We come down here to all strategies, and I want to go long vertical call there. And so say I want to compare a January to a February. What's my cost? Say I think it's going to take Tesla longer to get to 560. I think it's going to get there, but it's going to take a little bit longer than just January to go up $120. So I can plug in here. We're going to go to Feb of 21. And we got the same strikes. And so up here, what you're going to see is that same spread, but you're buying an extra month. It's going to cost you more. It's going to cost $47.30, but you have time. You're paying for extra time on that spread to achieve your goal. But you also see the probability of profit goes up in that scenario. So I could set up 3 different spreads here and look at them visually. And you can see the score is up there as well. Not quite as high as the January, but again, it's risk reward. So with the February, you're risking more money. And as a result, the reward is less because the $12,000 potential total pay upon expiration is reduced by your cost of $47.30 versus the $33.45. So there's a lot you can do with this. It's really intuitive. All sorts of things you can do. So going a little deeper here, so what you'll see is there are 5 little buttons at the bottom, and these are different screens that let you expand upon those strategies you see above that panel. So let's go through those. The first one's P&L simulator. The second one is plain English. So there's a lot of option, jargon, terminology that can be confusing. What we're looking to do here is really break it down into plain English, something that's mostly understandable. So if you look at this one, the one we just created, the Feb, oh, actually I left a Jan long in there and selling a Feb, actually, should have changed that. So let's look at the January 440 to 560. This is a bullish strategy with limited risk of 33.45 and limited potential reward of 8,655. The strategy will profit if the stock closes above 473 by Jan 15th, and there's a 34.7% chance of probability. So pretty straightforward there. The next panel is you can plug in, what you're looking to, hey, I got $5,000, whatever. So you can say I want to invest or I want to risk. So you can change these values. So let's say, I want to invest 10,000 into this idea. It'll calculate it for you. And in this scenario, 22 shares, and then the different types of spreads that are shown there. So you can put in, I want a risk, and it goes up to 2 contracts. So you're risking $10,000. The next one is a trading range simulator. So this, again, tries to help you to visualize what's going on here. And so this is interactive. In this scenario, it's thinking it's going to be, the range between 321 and 561. You can say, well, I don't think that's going to, I think it's going to be a tighter range. And so as you see, as I change the values of where I think the stock will trade within a range, it changes those numbers, the scores on the strategy. So it's going to impact my ability to become profitable if I think it's only going to be within this window of price range between now and end of January. You can also come here and, I can say 340, I can plug in specific numbers. And then I can also change the expiration date, as you can see here. And it gives you the number of days until that expiration. And then the last panel is where it's interactive, where you can change the strategy, the expiration, the quantity, the strikes. So I could come in here and say, okay, well, I didn't change that one from January to February, so let's see how that changes it. So you can see I left the long side of that spread as January. I had the long side, I'm sorry, is February, and the short side is January. When I change both of those to February, the score goes up again. So it's highly interactive. It's also, if you want to learn about different strategies, you can come in here and look at all the different strategies. And, you can say like a long put vertical, and it'll bring up the setups for those strategies so you can visually see what those strategies are doing. So, there's a lot going on here. I think one key feature that we've worked very closely with OptionsPlay on is that we have built OptionsPlay into our order management system. So, we've analyzed everything we have going on here with Tesla. We like this suggestion of the, hypothetically, buying the Jan 15 of 21, 440, and selling the 560 call. So to do that, I don't need to go back to the option chains within the trading platform. All I need to do is click Trade. And what it's going to do is going to bring you up 2 different order screens. So one really key feature here that OptionsPlay provides is a strategy checklist. So in order to see that, just click on that button. And what it says here, okay, your strategy checklist, the trend is good, it's bullish. The market trend is bullish. S&P 500 is 1-month trend is bullish. The strategy here chosen as an excellent score of 124. There are no earnings between now and then that might have a fundamental change in price, and the spread and liquidity is good. So meaning there's a lot of people trading it. It's not a wide bid ask. So it checks all the boxes, and then you can click Preview Order, and what you'll see is it'll bring up the order ticket. And so you'll see, here at eOption, or Regal, we show you all the commission rates. Everything is right there. You look at the spread. I got the Jan monthly, 440 to 560, and then click Verify. This account is not ready to trade this one, but just shows you where your commission rate, the miscellaneous fees, and then bam, you send the order. So very, very intuitive, and it's something that we've really put a lot of time and effort into bringing to you and making sure it's all plugged in and available. And like I said, as Gina said, this product, if you were to go to OptionsPlay and subscribe, it's $500 a year. We don't charge anything. So we're real proud to bring this to you. One other item I'd like to show you is if you ever get in here and maybe feeling a little bit lost and not understanding what everything you're looking at is, just go up here to the guide and click that. And what you'll see are these little flags just popped up everywhere. So all you need to do is hover over those flags, and it's going to give you, telling you what that particular selection is. So we go up here, and it says OptionsPlay Score. It's a proprietary indicator evaluating strategy, letting you know whether the level of risk you're taking is appropriate for the reward. So as I mentioned, just a risk reward. But you can plug that in and get a lot of information there as well. This kind of covers OptionsPlay for the most part. There are a couple of other features before we get to a Q&A that I would like to review with you. Other features within the Regal platform is, this is a great way to generate ideas. We have other items within our platform. If you've had a chance to go and look at the daily outlook, it's another widget you have access to. This is great research content that we update this multiple times a day. So, the early look you're going to get every day. You probably get it by email. If not, you can get it within the trading platform here. And it's just telling you what the futures look like. This comes out pretty early in the morning. Tells you what's going on for the day, what's on the economic calendar for today, what earnings are coming out today, and then other key events. Gives you gold, oil, 10-year, all that stuff. So we have this 3 times a day. We got the early look. The mid-morning comes around 11 a.m. Eastern. Kind of gives you a feel for what's happened since the open. And then after the close, we give you a closing recap. And then what I personally like to look at every day is the street recommendations. So you can come in here and look at what all the big wirehouses, the investment banks, they come out with, upgrades, research comments on a daily basis. So you can come in here, and this kind of gives you some other trade ideas as well. So if you noticed, I had DraftKings up on the screen earlier. I was looking at it because I saw it in this particular, where was it? Loop Capital came out with a $100 price target on it today, right here. The gaming sector, they initiated these stocks. So DraftKings is up like 8% today. Where is it right now? Yeah, it's up 8% right now. So you get that under the daily outlook. And then also just the street recommendations, that comes out early in the morning. So this is update within the platform. And then on Fridays, we get a weekly calendar for the following week. So last Friday, we got this one, and it just goes through what the economic calendar is for each day and which companies are reporting earnings before and after the close, and then other key events like Citigroup's having a conference. So this is all really helpful information, kind of keeps your finger on the pulse of what's going on in the market. One other item I wanted to show you, a new feature we have within the platform. If you like to trade covered calls through the option chain, you can now check this box to add the stock to a trade ticket. Then all you can do is come down here. So going back to Tesla, it's at 440. Say I want to do a covered call. This little box, click it twice to sell and hit trade. And what it's going to do is automatically bring up a covered call trade ticket for you. So it really cuts through the time and effort of having to generate a covered call decision. So that's a new feature we just came out with here recently. And I think that's pretty much covers most of what OptionsPlay does. Certainly we can have further webinars to dig deeper into this. I think we'll have some where we cover just certain strategies and how to set those up using OptionsPlay. Certainly we've covered a lot here, and I think you've got the basics down in terms of how to get in there and really dig in and explore it yourself. I'm seeing some questions here. There is one item, James, show the income use. That is true. That's one item I did not cover. My apologies. So going back to the right panel of OptionsPlay, we went over the trade functionality. And there's a lot of different things you can do in there with different trade strategies using options. But right up here, there is the income tab. And what this is going to cover are strategies for people who like to generate income. And there's two main ways that people do that with options, and it is selling a covered call, so you're long the stock and you sell a call against it, or selling a put, a cash covered put, sometimes called a naked put. And so both of these strategies, when you employ them, you receive money. You're selling the option, you're not buying it, and therefore you're receiving income at the time of entering the trade. So in this particular, going back to our Tesla example, at the very top it says, do you own Tesla? Hypothetically, let's say yes. I bought 100 shares and my cost is 300. Say my cost is $380. And down here on the income settings, you can tailor this to your time frame and your risk tolerance. So time frame is, okay, do you want to sell calls that are 1 to 2 months out? Do you want to sell a call that's, say, 6 months or 90 days out? Or do you want to go longer than that, where they have, they have options on Tesla and other stocks that expire in 2022 or in probably 23 coming soon. So for hypothetical purposes here, let's take a look. Let's say my time frame is medium, and my risk tolerance, my aggressive, optimal, or conservative. Let's say I'm conservative in this scenario. Actually, it's saying suitable for active investors, the short term, and conservative seeks to minimize the risk of losing the stock. So, typically, if you own the stock for a long time, your cost basis is much lower, you probably don't want to get called away, so you want to sell a call that's farther away from the money, essentially. So in this scenario, let's go with short and conservative. We'll save that as a default. And so what it is here is OptionsPlay is suggesting that I sell one contract because I have 100 shares long of the December 11th 530 call. That's $85. It would have to go up $85, more than 85 for this to be in the money. And I can sell that call for $8, it says here. Is it $8? Let's see what the trade is. $8. Amazing. $8 in premium for an option that expires less than a month away and almost $100 out of the money. Wow. So you may look at this and say, okay, great, that sounds good, $800 in income. And what this particular panel does here is it's going to say you're going to receive $800. The negative means you're bringing in $800. Your max reward, your maximum risk, and then your annualized return. So if you were able to do this at the frequency of this expiration, because it doesn't pay a dividend, this would be an income stream as a result. And then the break even is 372, days to expiration 24. And then if I want to do that, I just click trade, brings up my order ticket. We look at my strategy checklist, all green, looks good. Then you could enter the order. I can also bring up the option grid, and then so what it's showing me here is the expirations that fall into those days categories. You can say, well, I want to go farther out. Or maybe in this scenario, 530 is too close to the money, I could go with the 590. All right, 590, I'm $145 away. The stock's got to go up 33% or more, and I would still bring in almost $400 in income. Or I could say, you know, I want a little more time. It might be volatile short term, but I think long term it's not going to go above, say, 600. So I can sell the Jan 15th 600 call for $13.40. Wow, that's some premium right there. So there's a lot of different ways that you can generate this information. Covered calls is one. Another one, you need a little more higher level of option approval, but it also, what you can do is you can sell a put. So if you sell a put and the one you sold goes in the money, you're going to end up buying the stock. So in this scenario, it's saying, hey, here's an idea, sell 1 December 11th, $360 put. And you would get $3.90 or $390 if you were to sell that one. You say, well, you know what? I'm happy to own Tesla at $360, when in actuality your cost is really more like $356 because you're bringing in the income from selling the put. So you're like, hey, you know what? I'd be happy to own this stock if it falls to $360. In the meantime, if it doesn't, I'm going to sell this put and bring in this income. And so this is a different way you can strategize generating income and selling a put in this situation. Certainly, the risk here is if it goes way below 360, you're essentially going to be buying the stock at 360, and if it say it's at 300, you know, you could lose $6,000 in that scenario when you're only bringing in 390. So, two ways to play the income side of this. Certainly, you know, these are generally normal, industry normal ways of generating income. But as we said, there's a lot of different ways you can play it. Even with selling the put, you could say, you know what, I could go out to Feb 19th, the 295 put. Love to buy Tesla, you know, hypothetically. Love to buy Tesla at 295. And that put is trading at $9.25. So you could bring in $925, sell this put that expires in February, and if it stays above $295, by third Friday in February, you keep $925, move on to the next one. If it goes down below that, you're going to be buying at essentially $295 minus the income you receive from selling the put. So it's amazing. Looking at Tesla, the premium in the stock and these options is just huge. But you know, Tesla is an expensive stock, and if you want to play Tesla, these are ways that you can do it without risking $44,000 for 100 shares, which is a lot of money, but certainly less than it was before the split. Anyway, okay, well, I hope I covered that. I did want to go over a couple things, and then I'll open it up for questions. And so again, here at Regal, parent company, you know, maximize your trading potential. We can trade unlimited stocks and ETF for zero commission. Our commission for options is $1.99 plus 10 cents a contract. OptionsPlay, a $500 value, is free to all account holders. Powerful trading platform for easily entering your own option and stock trades, fully customizable, streaming real-time quotes, chart news, research content, you know, no hidden fees or volume requirements or minimums. We have a great mobile app. If you guys haven't used that, please download the app. I use it all the time. Just get quotes in the morning or whenever. You can place trades, you can place spreads, you can do lots of great stuff on the app. It's all streaming there as well. So I do want to thank everyone, and please, if you have questions, now's the time. Go ahead and send them to me. I'll take a look here. I've got a few of them. So one question is this tool available in the application? So yes, this tool. So we have a paper trading environment. This tool is not available in the paper trading. Live trading, you have an account with us, you get this product. It's in our desktop platform only. There's too much going on here for us to plug it into our mobile app. So yes, everybody gets it, and it's in the widgets. If you don't see it at the top, it's on your drop down in the widgets, and you can create a screen tailored just to OptionsPlay. Unfortunately, I can't show the app right now. I don't have the software to bring that up. It does exist, and I've used it before. I just don't have it at my fingertips right now. But we'd be happy to show you that. It's also on the website, the eOption website, or the InvestTrade website, or Regal Securities. Does income have credit spreads? No, the income you would have to go to under the trading strategy. Credit spreads, you would just go into here, where we at the last little bullet there, and you can just go under here and look at all the strategies and just, I think they would call that like a short vertical. Yeah, so you just go into, for a credit spread, go in there and plug in short call vertical, and you'll see it pulled one up right here. And this one, you'd be buying the 445 and selling the 440 on the call side. So you can play with this. I can change this to puts. I can change the strikes. And you can also have these arrows next to the strike if I just want to go up one or two. And then you can change the quantities. You can change the expiration date. You can change the actions. But to answer your question, you would find that under the trade strategy, under the edit legs scenario there. So not on, income's only going to focus on selling covered calls or selling a cash covered or naked put. Well, let's see what else we got. So one question is, what if the stock is flat or consolidating and you're neutral? You know, it doesn't really give you an option of neutral on a particular stock, but you can, there's ways to use this tool on neutral strategies. You could do, oh, I'm sorry, there is a neutral selection under the strategy. So you can just plug in any stock that you are familiar with or are interested in, and then come to this trade scenario screen and look at the neutral strategies. So you can plug those in. You can say a short iron condor, and it will bring that up for you. So that would be a way to handle the, there it is, it just popped up. So you're seeing here is, this would be neutral, where you're thinking it's going to stay within a certain trade range. You can create two credit spreads, one real high, way out of the money, and one real low. So that would be a way you can do that. And then moving on. Well, here Dale has a good question. He says, which concept is better when using OptionsPlay? Try to get a higher score, or look for possibly a lower score but a higher percent of probability of profit. Concern is getting a high score sounds great, but in reality, I like to go for the higher profit. Yeah, that makes sense. And you know what? I think this tool has a lot of data for you, and it's really your personal preference. I can't really tell you one way is better or another. Certainly, the score is going to look at risk reward. So, you know, it's up to you how you like to trade this stuff, or what your personal preference is. You can tailor it to meet your you know, kind of what you're looking for. But I don't really want to give you one way or the other. But just so you know that that score is risk reward. So a lot of times the spread is going to be the highest score because you're risking the lowest amount of money, and your potential, you know, when you're risking lower, you know, if you're making, it's, you know, to make a bigger percentage if the stock does meet the objective you're looking for. Is there one last question here? I know we're about out of time. I really appreciate your time. Is there any way to change the probability of profit and have the SW find the options that might meet that criteria? Let's take a look here. Let's go back to this screen. I don't think there's a way to change the probability of profit. I think you need to change the strategy to come up with different scenarios to generate those probabilities. But that is one field that you can't change on this system. So, all right, well, you know what? This went by really quick, and I hope we gave you a good understanding of how this works and ways that you can use this to kind of cut through a lot of the overwhelming data and options. And we'll be happy to do this more than once, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions individually. I'll give you my email. It's sherrin@regalsecurities.com. It's SHERRIN. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm here all the time. And thank you. Really appreciate your time, and hope you have a good day.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. That was very interesting and informative, and we hope it gave all the attendees good insight on OptionsPlay and how you can start using it right away. And just to reiterate, it is free for all of our customers. And as Sean mentioned, it's normally $500 annually, but there's no charge for our customers. And it's very easy to find. After you log into your account, you'll just look for that OptionsPlay tab on the menu item, and you'll see it there, and you can just start using it. And we also do have more instructional videos on our website as well as on YouTube. So you'll see, if you want to get more in depth, you can look at it there, and you'll also see some guides as well. And again, you can take advantage of our ultra low rates. We do charge a $0 for stock and ETF trades, and options are just 10 cents a contract plus $1.99 per trade. And as someone asked if there's a minimum, there is no minimum to open an account, and there's no volume requirements or hidden fees or anything like that. What you see is what you get. And all attendees will be getting a recording of this webinar, so you can review it again at your leisure. It will be emailed to you this week. And again, it'll be posted on our website and on YouTube. And you can also reach out to our trade desk at any time. Everyone's trained in options. They're all option trading specialists. Or you can reach out to Sean directly, and they'll be happy to answer all of your questions on OptionsPlay or using our trading platform for options, or any other questions that you have. It's easy to get through to them, and they're very helpful with all of your questions. And make sure to like us on Facebook, and you'll get advance notice of our webinars, investment tips, and daily market news. So we have a lot of good ideas on Facebook, so we hope you'll connect with us there. And one last item, we do have another webinar coming up. That will be on December 1st at 1 p.m. Central Time, and that's volatility analysis for option investors, presented by a professional trader from the Option Industry Council. So mark your calendars for December 1st at 1 p.m. Central Time, and we'll also be sending out a reminder on this as well in the upcoming weeks. And again, as Sean mentioned, we do plan to have more OptionPlay webinars in the future, and so we hope to see you then. So again, thank you for your time. We greatly appreciate it. We understand that you're very busy, and we look forward to having you participate in another webinar. Thank you, and be safe. Bye.